Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first ever episode of the Truth in Cyber podcast. I'm Oscar Minks. I'm joined by the wonderful Mel Kalinsky and the dream child of this podcast, Michael Kennedy. Good afternoon, Michael. How you doing today?
Good, good. Still dreaming.
We're always dreaming, man. I
That's
don't think the
right.
dreaming ever stops. Yeah, and if it does, we got a problem. So,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
I'm,
Good
always,
I'm
afternoon,
calling
Mel.
Journey if it does. You're breaking all the rules.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We're dreamers and believers, and I intend to keep it that way. I think that's kind of part of the whole
Love it.
mission here. So, yeah. Hey, Mel, how you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. Just
Good.
enjoying beautiful fall weather here. And
As surprising as it is, I gotta say, I'm still waiting for fall in Montana. It's like 87
Really?
degrees outside today. We had a nice cool Monday that was around 60 degrees, and I got excited, but it's been hot since then. I'm ready for the cool down, get the water cooled down, and get those brown trout moving.
Oh yeah. We had a span a few weeks ago that was like that too. It was pretty hot and then it started to cool off back down again. It's odd
Yeah.
though, because in when I'm in my office and in the office here, it's about 65 degrees. So I feel like it's winter in my office every day. So
it is like the
It's
coldest spot in the office too.
yeah.
That's where I would hang out. It's funny. I always start my day, which we don't have air conditioning here, right? And so right now, don't worry, I get the
Mm.
windows open and stuff. But it's nice. I wake up in the morning and my home's really cool, and so my office is really cool. And I start my day in a flannel or hoodie, and then about 3:30, 4 o'clock, like right now, it's probably 75 degrees in my office. And I just realized I probably need to ditch the flannel shirt, but
Yeah.
we'll get to that after this.
Yeah.
Um, so maybe let's do a quick background of each of us here. I don't know if you want to kick things off, Mike.
Sure. So, uh, Michael Kennedy, founder of Osher Security. We've been around since about 2018. Before that, I was various roles. I was at United Health Group for about 16 years. I've been in IT security for since 97. I always tell people that I'm a product of the dot coms. I got right into IT, essentially right out of high school and started just growing the career. So done a lot of various things from the large enterprise to small business throughout there.
Nice. It's a testament to your passion, your commitment that you're almost 30 years in and you're still innovating and coming up with new ideas like this. So kudos to you, man.
Yep,
We
appreciate
need
that.
more people like you in the industry for sure. All right, Mel, what about you?
I believe I am the newcomer in this group. Celebrating three years at Astra coming up here real soon. Can't wait to see what my anniversary present is.
A
Probably like
bidet, a
some
bidet, a bidet.
that would be my gift to you. Prior to that, as my jokes, I came from the commercial plumbing industry, and prior to that, I was a ballerina for a couple of decades. So
Oh,
I like to
wow.
joke now.
I did not know that. It's super cool.
Yeah, it came up last week. I was at an event and I joked. I said, "Yes, my life story will be coming out soon, from plies to bidets and 0 days and everything in between." So,
That'd be a great. That's going to be a great
well,
title.
Yeah, I love
it's
it.
kind of a long
I'm,
one, but we tied it all together.
I'm locked in and subscribed to that story. So keep me in the
Perfect.
loop. I'm looking
You could be
forward to
my
that.
test audience.
Yeah, heck yeah. All right. Well, I'm Oscar Meeks. I'm the president of FR Secure. I've been with FR Secure about 7 years now. I've been in the industry a long time, not quite as long as Michael, but started my journey back in the early 2000s. And it's kind of funny when I think about my journey into security, and I'm sure you can relate to this, Michael, where in our time when we started, I was about 5 years behind you. But if you were in tech was security. There was no
Oh yeah,
difference there, right?
yeah, yep.
And so there was very blurred lines, and I really got started. I think I've told you this story before. I was working a third shift job, just doing like operations control work, and I was bored out of my stinking mind. And so I started making honeypots and snort sensors and deploying them across the networks just for fun. And luckily, it caught the attention of my boss. He's like, "What are you doing and why are you doing that?" It's like, "Well, I know how to do it. I'm super bored." And he was like, "Okay, let's get you off third shift. Let's get you on a human shift. And I think I've got some more work for you. And that really just kind of jump started my path into the career. Always been a
Yeah.
tinkerer of things. And I think a lot of us who are tinkerers kind of find our way into security in some way.
Yep. Yep. For sure. Love to tinker. And that was kind of similar. I always forget about it until you hear your story, but I was working in a mailroom, opening up envelopes, and
Mhm.
office manager came in and asked the people in the mailroom if anybody knew how to work on computers. And so I was like, I raised my hand. I kind of lied a little bit. I knew a little bit, but and um and then right away she got me right into stuff, and then I was their network admin, system administrator 6 months later. So,
Nice. Yeah.
yep. Started in the mailroom, moved up into that. And then to your point, yeah, it's all about kind of the various aspects of security and networking. And so,
Yeah. Very cool. All right. So we're here for the Truth in Cyber initiative here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what Truth in Cyber is and really why Truth in Cyber exists today?
yeah. So the main goal or kind of the driver of Truth in Cyber is really to drive honesty, transparency, self-awareness, accountability throughout our cyber industry. You know, we've kind of been in this a little bit. The idea came to me in kind of a moment. I was thinking about how there was lack of transparency in sales processes, lack of transparency in kind of the different aspects of cyber, as well as the honesty. We're not seeing a lot of we're seeing kind of some dishonest business practices, some dishonesty around tools, solutions, services that were being provided. And I had this idea that we needed some type of pledge as an industry that we were going to follow these, kind of these key attributes of, honesty, self-awareness, transparency, accountability, and and hold ourselves, that's what the accountability, hold ourselves accountable to these. So that's really where it came from, is just what we were seeing in the industry, or what I was seeing in the industry. And then after about a year or two of kind of sitting on the idea and talking to others and kicking it around, of that's really where truthincyber.org came from, is how are we able to kind of take this and bring it into our peers and people that are out there, and kind of mm, bring these attributes in. So
Yeah, I love that. And there's nothing that makes me more like angry in our space than to see providers, software providers, whatever type of provider you are, like misleading the
mhm.
clients. And there's a ton of that in the space today, right? I think we all align in that security is not a technology problem, it's a people problem. However, if you look in the media today, you look at product today, the narrative that's continually pushed is that there is a technology solution to this.
Correct. Yeah.
And we just see so many providers over promising, under delivering. And I think it's really symptomatic within our space right now. And we aim to make a change there, a positive change. And hopefully, through the efforts of Truth in Cyber, continue to educate, get more people to align, sign the pledge. But even through that, too, I think that we have a huge opportunity to impact the people and the consumers by being able to quickly identify those that are in line. And, I hope we don't miss a line here, but a
Yep.
goal, and I've talked to you about this a little bit,
Yep. For
it's like
sure.
I want to start calling out the bullshit too.
Yeah.
And when we see really, obvious representations of what we're fighting, we're going to pull the curtain and talk some shit about those people.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that really, I mean, yeah, and you and I have discussed that around that transparency side. It's like, how are these organizations that are having data breaches getting away with not sharing IOCs, without sharing, the impacts into the businesses or the clients that they support.
Mhm.
And we'll save those for future episodes. But
Yeah.
there's hours of conversations around those specific things, and how we as individuals, as a group, can kind of start to change that narrative,
Hmm.
And then I'm really hoping that this is one of those ways that we can do that. So,
Hmm.
and then, no, I always forget too, is part of this is that community, right? We want to make sure that, when we talk as individuals around the self-awareness, the honesty, that I'm also talking about the stuff that's, I struggle with, like the burnout and the imposter syndrome and those things of what we see out there, and not just kind of focus solely on picking on vendors and picking on, I mean, I say that in tongue in cheek, but also kind of driving more of that community aspect around. So.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea too. And what kind of community actions can we expect from Truth and Cyber as we move forward?
Yeah. So I think, and Mel helped me out here with some of these stuff because a lot of these are great ideas that you have too. But one is this platform to have the podcast platform so we can go out and bring on guests, industry people, vendors. I have some interesting ideas around bringing on some insurance companies, representatives, and talking about incident response events and where the gaps were. I also, though, some roundtables, events. Mel, I don't know if you touch on the roundtables at all, the education side.
Mhm. Well, I think the to kind of round out what you're both saying is also when you talk about community, it's more than the vendor provider community, it's the
Hmm.
end users and helping to educate them to sort of like un can I say that word? We'll say unmuddle. I was going to say a different word, but unmuddle the buyer's journey a little bit so that it's a little more clear and they can help themselves see through some of the bullshit that is out there. So the better educated, I think we can help the community to be via a podcast, via a roundtable. Um, that also helps to hold vendors, providers more accountable because now the end user better understands what they're walking into and they're not so easily taken advantage of. So,
Yeah, I think you make a really good point, and perhaps I did lean on the side of we're going to call out bullshit when we see it, but I think on the flip
Yeah, we
side too, it's
should.
super
We
important
should.
there, and
Yeah.
we should, yeah.
Yep.
But it's also equally important to call out the good when we see the good,
Yeah.
and be able to educate our community on how they are, experiencing the good, how are they modeling that for people, but then hopefully provide our community with the tools so that they can take the information we're providing from the good and the bad, and to be able to really effectively evaluate their own situation, their own partners, and those vendors to make just more informed decisions and be more educated when they're trying to bring new solutions into their environment.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, so really excited about this. I think there's a quote in the notes that you shared with me before this: no vendor theater, no bullshit, just truth. And I think that's a great motto. And I think that's something that our listeners can expect to see in future episodes. We're going to have a lot of different guests on here, do featured products, tell war stories, tell stories about being lied to. And I think that's something, we've been working on here on the backside is like more media for consumption, right? And getting to more events and even having, t-shirt stickers and things like that. And, Kennedy
Yeah.
came up with a catchphrase that I love, and it's, have you ever been lied to? And that hits home for me when I hear that. And I think it's going to strike a
yeah.
nerve with a lot of people.
Right.
And so maybe tell us about like the idea behind that.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of it too. So we were at a con in Michigan, Cloud Con, and as there was people would come up. It was very interesting having people come up to our booth and stop and talk to us because it's just vendors everywhere. And when they come up and I would start talking about truth in cyber and how, our pledge to hold accountability in our industry and we want to drive these. And I would just get this kind of blank stare from individuals. And
Well,
I
because
would just
they
look,
were looking for the catch bite. They were still
yeah, they were
waiting for
like,
what we were
what do you
trying to sell them.
right, exactly. What are you trying to sell me? And so
Nothing.
now, I would look at my first, when they would do that kind of blank stare, I'd ask them, have you ever been lied to? And they would just like the light bulb would go off and they was just like, oh my gosh, yes. And then you would, have you ever been sold a tool or a product that actually didn't do what it said it was supposed to do? And then it was just it was like almost a release that you would see in the person. They would just start, and there were the stories that we got to hear, um, were phenomenal. And so really that was where that was kind of that catch of talking to people, having that resonate. Because we've all bought something that we didn't want to. We thought it would do something that we thought it didn't do what we thought it would do. We've all kind of been told something that wasn't true in one of those processes. Um, and the best response to that question that I got was, "Well, I'm in sales. I have to lie." And I'll save it for a future podcast episode, the rest of that conversation. But I was blunt. I mean, that's why that to me proved the point around why we need Truth in Cyber and why we need to drive this forward. And so,
Yeah, absolutely. It's so relatable. I think all of us have stories here, and hopefully in due time, we're going to dig in and tell more about those stories.
Yeah.
But that's what hit me is like, we're trying to summarize what we're doing in a nutshell. Like, how do you hit that nerve quickly? How do you, relate the goals and just that understanding? Have you ever been lied to? Have you ever been misled? Have you ever been overpromised and underdelivered? And all stems from that. Have you ever been lied to? And yeah, it's a damn shame that like, we
Yeah.
got sales folks out here that think that's part of the job because it's not,
Right.
and it doesn't have to be.
No.
And we see that from our practices, right? It is
Yeah.
about being
Oh, yeah.
honest, transparent. And, Evan Francine has a quote, and he always tells their sales team, and it's, if you ever sell something to someone they don't need, I'm going to hit you, run over you with my truck.
Yep.
And so that's a mantra we all live our lives by here, is being honest and just providing people with what they actually need.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yep. Now I have cool stickers too. So for everybody
Nice.
to have.
Yeah. So upcoming events, if people want to come out and say hi, I
Yep.
know we got a couple events in the hopper. I don't know if maybe Mel, you want to tell us what those are? I think you're more organized than me and Michael
Yeah.
both. So
I would never claim that. So next week, which I guess I should give you the dates, but October 3rd and 4th, I believe. Gosh, is that already? October, so gross. October 3rd and 4th. Nope, 2nd and 3rd. You just have to edit that around, I guess. October
Yep.
2nd and 3rd, we'll be at GurCon in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So come on by if you will be at that event. Our first time attending that event in general, but certainly with Truth in Cyber. And then, of course, we will be at Hacks and Hops in Minneapolis on October 16th. So a couple of opportunities here in the near future to connect and hear more, share your stories.
And then we should be at Hacks and Hops November 21st as well in Missoula.
That's right.
Also.
Yep. Yeah,
So.
big news about that event too. I'm really excited. Actually scored a tailgate pass for the football game.
Nice.
So Montana versus Montana football, Montana versus Montana State football is the biggest sporting event in Montana, which you guys will see when you're here. And so we go to the ball game. We're having the event Friday, Saturday. We're going to go to the football game, have some fun. We got a great idea, and I think you guys will love it. So we got a tailgate spot. I'm going to go to Sam's Club and buy, a big piece of AstroTurf.
Oh yeah.
And put a little fence around it, and then one of my Bulldogs is going to wear a Montana State jersey. The other one's going to wear a Montana jersey. And then we got a third dog, is a little Papillon. She's the referee. And we're going to get her a referee uniform, and she's going to referee the football game. So we're going to have a football game in the parking lot while the game's going on inside too. So it should be a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're listening, please come by to the events, say hi. If you have other events you think you would like to see us at, I think reach out, let us know that too. I think for future programming, we're always looking for new guests for the show here. So if you have ideas for someone you'd like to hear on the podcast, someone who has a good story, or if you have a good story you'd like to tell, I'd say reach out to us and try to let us know, and we'll work that in. But I think, what's our cadence for these guys? We're going to do these once a month?
Yeah, we're going to try once a month, I think.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so looking forward to continuing the conversations. Excited to reach our communities, move forward here, and really looking forward to hearing the feedback from the community. That's going to be a very important thing in how we drive this forward. So I think just like to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you guys for being here. Michael, any closing remarks?
No, thank you, Oscar, for leading us through this today. Look forward to the upcoming events and talking to people. Pretty excited.
Yeah.
So.
Excellent. How about you, Mel?
Yeah, no, I'm just glad we got around to doing this. So it's something I think we've been planning for, and glad we're here.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you both. Thanks to everybody for listening. Until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll talk soon.
So yeah.
See ya.